Hello everyone, my name is Panna and I'm going to be talking about the challenges of sovereignty the Arctic faces. Now, owing to the factor of climate change and global warming, we see that the Arctic Circle has been undergoing a lot of changes. Now, these changes are not just limited to being uh, sociological or ecological in nature, but these changes are also very political in nature, which means that the areas which surround the Arctic Circle have been showing a lot of interest in the region as far as gaining accessibility to the region is concerned. Now, isn't it surprising how a region which was once ignored and which was once isolated as far as the international affairs were concerned in the past has now been witnessing a lot of attention and a lot of interest as far as the nations which surround it are concerned. Now, I'll be talking about the reasons behind it much later, but let's bring in the notion of sovereignty. Now, if we talk about sovereignty, we see that the question of sovereignty has been haunting the Arctic Circle and has been left unanswered over the years. Now, it's not just that the Arctic regions which have shown interest in the region, but also the non-Arctic states have shown interest. Now, let's take an example of Great Britain. The company, the Hudson Bay, was showing territorial autonomy in the Canadian Arctic region once. Now, now let's bring in the reasons why the nations have been showing so much interest. Now, the very reason is because around 22% of the Earth's natural resources have been discovered in the Arctic Circle. Now, these resources are oil and natural gas. Now, we see that the nations which surround the Arctic Circle have been showing a lot of interest as far as the sovereignty is concerned. Now, each nation wants its share in the region so that it gains the benefits of the presence of natural resources there. Russia is one of them, and there are other Arctic nations as well which are showing concern. For instance, Canada and United States, Finland, Denmark, etc. Now, if we talk about sovereignty in the region, we see that sovereignty has always questioned the region, and because of which various institutions have also been formed. Now, for instance, the UNCLOS, the United Nations Conventions of the Law of the Sea, was formulated in order to take into consideration in order to balance the territorial claims, the territorial fights amongst the nations. But it should also be noticed that the very territorial dispute and uh, the very fight amongst the nations for gaining sovereignty is very peaceful in nature, and a lot of soft power and diplomacy is being taken into consideration by the nations, and there has been no signs of war or no signs of disputes among the nations, but all the nations are very peacefully solving the matter. Now, in order to know more about the region, in order to know more about the sovereignty of the region and how materialistic the sovereignty, the want of sovereignty is, and in order to know more about how various institutions have come up and how, for instance, the UNCLOS and the Arctic Convention. Now, in order to know more about these, kindly log into indianfolk.com and read my article. Thank you very much.